The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada now brings you Filipinars, news and features about the Filipino-American nursing community and beyond. And now, here's your host, Doris Bauer.
Hello and welcome to Filipinars. Thank you for joining us today. We are here today at the Orleans Hotel and Casino at the Esplanade Room for a special celebration of some special kinds of nurses. Now, this event is called Celebration for Nurses and Friends. The event was organized by the Maglaya Medical-Legal Missions and the Las Vegas Frontline Nurses. So the purpose of this celebration is to recognize the nurses who actually played a critical role during the COVID pandemic and beyond. But the difference is these nurses work in a non-acute setting, not in the hospital, but in such settings like the nursing homes or LTAC or the clinic. They have also played a wonderful and a crucial role in caring for the nurses who have been afflicted by COVID. So today, we are going to hear about their work experiences and how is it that those experiences had helped them and what it's all about with the job that we're doing. So hang on and enjoy the celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here with us Miss Abby Carl. Hi, Abby.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So, Abby, can you tell me what type of nursing do you practice?
I am an ICU nurse.
Okay, so you're an ICU nurse, really in the thick of things with the COVID, right? Okay, so can you tell us or can you share your most challenging experience in caring for a COVID patient?
I think one of my most difficult things with caring for COVID patients was that family was not able to support the patients. So it was difficult being, at the bedside to be that person to help care for them, but also to be the support because a lot of the times we were calling family through the iPads, holding the patient's hands because their family members couldn't be with them. So that was very difficult, and then being there for patients in their dying times when family couldn't be there.
That definitely was one of the most challenging situations. So thank you very much, Abby, for talking to us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chelsea Maldonado. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi.
Okay, can you tell us what type of nursing you practice?
I work at Kindred, LTAC, so a long-term care facility.
Okay, so you're not in the subacute realm. You're in the subacute realm. Yeah, you're not in the acute realm. Okay. All right. So what do you think could have been done differently for nurses during the COVID pandemic?
What could have been done differently is staffing. I feel like we were very short-staffed during COVID, and I feel like if we were better staffed, it would have been safer for patients, safer for nurses, because at the end of the day, it's all about patient safety and making sure that everybody has quality patient care.
Yes, definitely. A lot of staffing issues. So thank you very much for sharing that. right, ladies and gentlemen, we have here with us Miss Emmer Sambo. She's one of the organizers of this event. Hello, Emmer.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am great.
Okay, great. So, Emmer, what type of nursing do you practice?
So I've been a nurse for a while, and so I have a lot of hats. Right now, I am a nurse practitioner, but at the same time, I'm also a nursing supervisor at the LTAC, sharing my knowledge to the new nurses.
That's fantastic. Okay, so in line with the questioning that we're having tonight, do you think that nurses who are in the same practice as you have equally been put to the test with COVID patient care in comparison to the nurses of the acute care setting?
So acute care and long-term acute actually, they still serve the same population of patients. Mm-hmm. The only thing with acute is they have to serve that patient and be sure that if they need to be intubated, that they will be easily be weaned off the breathing machine. And if they're not able to be extubated, that they go to LTAC for a long-term care. Yeah. Now, the LTAC nurse's responsibility is to be sure that the patient's hospitalization will be shortened, and they are very good at what they do. The extubation rate that they have is really very high to improve the lung of the patient.
Okay, that's very good. So it's actually a continuity of care, yes, from the acute care to the subacute. So that's fantastic. That's
yes.
Great. So why is it important for you to recognize these nurses that are not working in the acute care?
So it's really very important to recognize all the nurses. I know that this talk started with a long-term acute nurse being so tired one night and says, why is it that no one really appreciates us or really recognizing us? So one of them says, why don't we celebrate us? That's well, right. Just gonna put it together. And so that is what we have for tonight. We're celebrating healthcare workers, the nurses, CNAs, respiratory therapists, and other healthcare workers.
Yes, that's really great. And just so everybody knows, I guess the nurses from the nursing home setting really got a bum rap with, during the COVID pandemic, because everybody was complaining, why are you putting these patients into long-term care or skilled nursing facility? But what they don't know is it was a continuity of care that was essential, right?
Yes, it is very important for the continuity of the care of the patient.
So thank you, Ms. Emmer, for helping organize this event tonight, and have fun.
Thank you.
We have here Miss Roxanne. Roxanne, what is your last name?
Ahito.
Roxanne Ahito. And what type of nursing do you do?
I as a staff nurse, medical surgical nursing.
Medical surgical nursing in
Kindred Hospital.
Okay, so that's LTAC or a
yes,
subacute. Okay,
LTAC, yeah.
All right. So that's good then. So I have to ask you, how many of your nursing colleagues got afflicted with COVID during the height of the pandemic, and what challenges did that pose to your work?
Oh wow! So actually, me myself, I was afflicted with COVID, and I get hospitalized. Wow. I was the first one when that, when the height of the pandemic. I was the very first nurse who got COVID.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, and I have 3 kids, so I sent them all the way to Oregon because I was just by myself, and then I get sick. I had all the symptoms, from diarrhea to sore throat, everything. I couldn't eat, lost appetite, all of that. Mm-hmm. So it really affected me. Of course, I was out of work, and I was out, far from my children. You're just by yourself. You don't know what to do. You get quarantined. But then eventually, like after 8 days, I had to be hospitalized because my oxygen level was too low.
It was too low.
Yeah,
okay.
And I was literally severe diarrhea and all of that. So
you didn't get intubated, did you?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank God. So
yes.
What actually funny is what helped me, exercise, because the more you stay in bed, it will affect you more, because the COVID virus, it will stick in your lungs, and if you don't exercise and you don't do anything, it's going to get worse. So I really pushed myself to walk around and really breathe. I was on oxygen. The funny thing is that TikTok, I did TikTok videos.
Did you really?
Yeah, just to do exercise, so that's, and then my friends, family in the Philippines and all, 'cause since I was the first one, so everybody was praying for me and all of that. So it was a really life-changing event, and it made me realize that there's really nothing that is more important than God, because nobody can talk to you, nobody can visit you, even your husband, even your closest family. So you're just by yourself, and the only thing that you can hold on to is your faith that He will heal you, and He will protect the rest of your family. But the sad thing is, I'm working with my auntie, who's also a nurse. She got COVID, and the husband was also infected, and he died.
Oh no.
So it's really, the COVID is really real to me. At first it wasn't, and but as what I said, our families got closer.
Right.
The faith got stronger. But so I'm a lot were really affected, and so. Yeah, but now
Glad you got over it.
yes, and
yes,
everybody. So now we don't wear
Yes.
masks anymore, and it's
Yes,
just, and I
yes.
can relate to the patients. So it's,
Yes,
I thank God
yes.
that I go through it, and then I survived,
Yes.
and so I can relate to them and actually help them through the experiences I had.
So it's time to celebrate, right? And thank you for sharing with us.
You're
Thank you so much. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have here Miss Terry. Terry, what's your last name?
DMAS.
Terry DeMass. And Terry, what kind of nursing did you do?
For a while, I was an ER nurse, then I went into cardiac, and then I went into management.
You went into management. Okay. Are you retired nurse, still practicing?
No, I'm retired.
Oh, okay. But you kept abreast with
Yes.
what's going on with the COVID pandemic. And since
Yes.
we're celebrating the nurses today, my question to you is, what do you think could have been done differently for nurses during the COVID pandemic?
I think they could have been better supplied with their needs, the gloves and the PPDs and stuff like that, but, they weren't prepared, and a lot of the nurses suffered for it.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. So, well, hopefully we're hoping there's not going to be another pandemic.
You're right.
Yeah. But yes, that is very crucial. So thank you so much, Terry.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, hello. This is Jana. Hi, Jana. How are
Hi, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, celebrating the nurses, right? So, Jana, what kind of nursing do you do?
I'm a bedside kidney transplant nurse in UMC.
Okay, kidney transplant. Do you guys see a lot of those during the pandemic?
During the pandemic, at first, we did not really have the COVID because knowing that we're a kidney transplant patient. But after almost a year, when the COVID is like all over the place, we had the COVID patient on our floor, even though we have the patient is kidney transplant.
Okay. So, yeah, that's great because nobody knew what the guidelines were, right, at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, You're right. Okay, so what kind of challenges besides patient care did you encounter during this pandemic?
The challenges that I encountered that is really difficult as a caregiver is family challenges. Because at first we are like glad that we don't have a COVID patient on our floor. Then especially me, I don't have family here in Las Vegas, and I only have a 3-bedroom house, and then I don't have a bedroom on the first floor. So then one day I had a I have a COVID patient, and then like almost die just the beginning of my shift, and only like 30 something year old, and I realized, oh my god, this COVID is not really for older people or for young, but it's for everybody can get infected. For a 31 years old, like just get worse on my face. So I realized like I had to have a plan for myself and my family. So I kind of like have to set up something in the garage or for myself. Like one day if I get COVID, where am I gonna stay? I don't want to bring it to my family. And then what kind of helped me when the vaccine came out.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, so because at first it was really overwhelming. Like I sweat all over when I put the suit, the whole gear. I was like, this is it. Am I gonna die? That was the question in my brain. And my kids are small. But when the vaccine came out and we are like fully vaccinated, I go to ER everywhere. I wasn't scared. I think it was just the brain. Like we have something to hold on that we were vaccinated. That the
Yes.
fear went away.
That is true. But we follow the science, and that's why we're here today. So I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
I'm glad I did not get COVID until today, thanks God, but I believe in science. I think it's the vaccine that really protect me.
Thank you, Jana. COVID is for real, everybody. So thank goodness for the science, and thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Hello, everybody. I have here Miss Carmen. Hi, Carmen.
Hello. How are you? Nice to be here.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you for doing this.
Yes, yes.
We need it.
Absolutely, we need some recognition of the nurses, frontline nurses.
Together, yeah. It's
Celebrate
been
that.
celebrating. We survived the hardest time in my nursing career.
Okay.
Yeah.
What type of nursing do you do?
I do ICU all my life for 50 years. Can you believe that?
50 years. Wow, that's fantastic.
For 50 years, although I look like 36.
There you go. That's true. So, Miss Agnes, Carmen. Why am I saying Agnes? I have no idea. So, what do you think has been your most challenging experience in dealing with this COVID pandemic?
Yeah, I'm lucky that I was at Kindred Hospital. They were very supportive, and they were, I think equipment-wise, everybody was short of supplies. We were not. We were lucky. We have enough supplies to take care of our patients. The challenge is the patients, the COVID patients are very, very sick. All my life I was in ICU. I work in ICU. All the lines, Swan, guns, and all the lines in the past. But this time, the patients are really very, very sick. And they require a lot of care, and they're away from the families. I'm into family support, and I keep telling the families I'm so into visiting hours, open visiting hours. I want the family at the bedside as much as possible because it really helps their recovery. And the challenge is we do FaceTime. It's so impersonal, and I feel like the family support was missing. But the nurses, the healthcare worker did their very best. They did a good job in spite of the hardship of everything. I think everybody did a good job in giving the best care that they could ever have.
That is fantastic, and kudos to all the nurses. So you were in ICU in Kindred?
I was charge nurse at UMC in neuroscience and surgical ICU. So I retired there 6 years ago. So I continue my nursing.
You're bored, right?
Not really.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
it's hard
I'm
to
still-
retire. You're still working.
Yeah, I still like
Yeah.
to be on the go.
Yes. Well, that's very good. Thank you for sharing, Ms. Carmen. And yeah, more power to you.
Thank
50
you very
years
much,
as
yes.
a nurse, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, she doesn't look it too. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Well, who I have here, she's not a nurse, but she's an important person. This is Agnes Botello, and she is running for Judge District Court.
Yes, I'm running for Las Vegas Justice Court Department 16. Yes.
So I have a question for you. Given that you've been through, the COVID pandemic procedures of Nevada and all of that, what do you think of the COVID procedures that were implemented, to help the healthcare workers and the patients as well? And do you think that it can be improved?
I think it can be improved. I think that I saw all over the news, and I have some friends who are nurses who talked about how they didn't have enough PPEs, and that was a big deal. Certainly, I think if we're going to ask, nurses to put their lives on the line, as well as their family's safety, we should at least give them the bare minimum. If we can't give them everything, we should give you guys the bare minimum in personal protection, so you don't fall ill. You answered our call when our community needed you, and while we were able to work remotely at the district attorney's office because the courthouse closed, you all were called in every day, long hours, to really help us.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. And ladies and gentlemen, she's running for
Las Vegas Justice Court Department 16.
Agnes Botello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have here Miss Marnie Navarra. Hi, Marnie.
Marvy.
Oh, Marvy. I am all out of sorts today. Marvy Navarra, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And she is a board member of the
FAFERNA, Filipino-American Nurse Practitioner Organization of Nevada. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's wonderful. Okay, so Marvy is a nurse practitioner, and where do you work, and what type of work do you do, Marvy?
I work for a mini clinic, CVS, and our clinic is like a step down, like walk-in clinic, urgent care, but step down from the urgent care. And we do see, right now we're seeing testing, COVID testing and treatment for COVID patients. I'm sure we heard about Paxlovid and the Merck one, which is Lagrovia. So we're prescribing those aside from treatment, on top of other stuff that we're doing.
All right, so those are monoclonal.
No, it's those are the oral antiviral. Yeah, those are new ones. The oral antiviral that was approved conditionally, emergency approval by the FDA for COVID patients.
So this is basically what you do for the COVID patients during this COVID pandemic. We're just trying to show, the different types of nursing that is done, for handling the COVID situation.
Yeah, well, a lot, the treatment was later because it was only approved this year, but we did a lot more of the COVID testing. COVID testing and then assessment, because there wasn't a lot of treatment for COVID at that time, but now they approved that, so we're one of the clinics that prescribe those. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So it must be gratifying, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a little scary, but now with the vaccine and the treatment, it's a lot more at ease. You're more at ease, and we have more PPE. I'm just grateful that my company was very good with providing us with PPE.
Yes, very good. CVS is a good company. So, well, thank you very much for sharing, Marvy, and we appreciate you, and we're celebrating you tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Carmi is one of the organizers of this event. And so, Carmi, what kind of nursing do you practice?
Most it's long-term acute and medical surgical. Yes.
Okay.
Patients on ventilators.
Oh, yeah, that's
Very sick patients.
that's a one. I mean, that's a very, very challenging job. So, how did you organize the Las Vegas frontline nurses?
Well, Emmer and I decided that we should celebrate as nurses since we work hard during the pandemic, taking care of very, very sick people. So I think it's time for us to celebrate us as well. Yeah.
That's good. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. And what did you do as a nurse for? Well, I think you answered that during the pandemic. You said.
Mostly, why the patients were not able to see their patients, so their families, yeah. So we had to hold their hands and made sure that they were comfortable. And it's hard when your family is far away. So yeah, mostly we spent time with them.
Did you see a lot of death there for?
Not really. Because most of the patients we were already like rehab, yeah. But yeah,
They got over the acute phase and went to the
they
subacute.
went to us that to be taken care of and go home, get better at home. Yeah.
Well, Carmelita, thank you so much for helping to organize this event. More power to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that wraps up our show. I would like to thank PHLV Radio for being here tonight to, help us celebrate this event. Also would like to thank the MMLM, Maglaya Medical-Legal Missions, for trying to put this together, along with the Filipino Advanced Registered Nurses Association. Also, thank you to ACDC for providing the giveaways for the nurses. And thank you for all the nurses that came and celebrate, and those nurses that were honored also tonight. I hope you had as much fun as I did with asking questions about these nurses and what they did in their job in contributing to the COVID pandemic. As always, thank you for the privilege of your time. Thank you for listening to Philippine NARS. This is Doris Bauer, your Philippine NARS host, signing off for now.
The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada has just brought you Philippine NARS, news and features about the Filipino-American nursing community and beyond on PHLV Radio.